All right. Hello everyone. My name is Omar Ahmed. And today I will be presenting my uh, video project, securing Internet of Things devices in the workforce, a comprehensive guide. And there are all the details. All right. All right. Introduction to securing Internet of Things devices in the workforce. So today's presentation on securing Internet of Things devices in the workforce. Um, in this comprehensive guide, we will discuss the importance of Internet of Things security and provide you with practical strategies and best practices to keep your organization safe. Um, The topics that will be covered include understanding Internet of Things security, identifying risks and threats, implementing best practices, and exploring essential tools and resources. The information in this presentation is based on reputable sources such as NIST, IEC, OWASP, and other cybersecurity case studies. So let's dive in and learn how to better secure Internet of Things devices within your work organization. All right. Understanding Internet of Things security. Uh, all right. So on this slide, we explore the concept of Internet of Things security and its significance in the workforce. Internet of Things security refers to the process of safeguarding connected devices and networks against unauthorized access, data breaches, and other um, malicious activities. Um, as Internet of Things devices become increasingly common in the workforce or the workplace, it is crucial for organizations to implement robust security measures. Some key reasons for prioritizing Internet of Things security include protecting sensitive data from unauthorized access and data breaches, ensuring the reliability and functionality of Internet of Things devices, and preventing the spread of malware across network devices. So here are some best practices for securing Internet of Things devices, and this is a general overview. To effectively protect your Internet of Things infrastructure, it is essential to follow key principles such as comprehensive protection, um, defense in depth, and continuous monitoring and improvement. Based on these principles, uh, these 7 best practices have been identified to help secure your Internet of Things devices. So the first one would be securing the device access and authentication. The second would be to encrypt data and communication. The third one would be to regularly update software and firmware. The fourth one would be to implement network segmentation. The fifth one would be to establish incident response and recovery plans. The sixth one would be to monitor and analyze Internet of Things traffic. And the seventh and final one would be to secure physical access to Internet of Things devices. All right. So securing device access and authentication. The first best practice for securing Internet of Things is to ensure robust device access and authentication. To achieve this, we have to use strong, unique default credentials for each device to prevent unauthorized access due to weak or shared passwords. Additionally, implementing multi-factor authentication for administrative access to Internet of Things devices and management interfaces, adding an extra layer of security. It is also important to limit the number of users with access to Internet of Things devices and networks, restricting access to only those who need it. Following that, you would want to regularly review and update user access privileges to prevent unauthorized access due to outdated permissions. And finally, disable unnecessary services and ports on Internet of Things devices, reducing the potential attack surface. So, encrypting data and communications. The second best practice for securing Internet of Things devices is to encrypt data and communications. To protect sensitive information from unauthorized access and interception, use encryption for both data at rest and in transit. You would want to implement secure communications protocols such as HTTPS, TLS, and DTLS to safeguard data transmitted between Internet of Things devices and management interfaces. Automation, utilize strong encryption algorithms like AES 256 or ChaCha 20 Poly 1305 to ensure the highest level of security. It is crucial to keep encryption keys secure and to regularly rotate them to reduce the risk of compromise. Lastly, use certificates from trusted certificate authorities for secure connections to prevent man-in-the-middle attacks and validate device identity. All right, the next step would be to regularly update software and firmware. Keeping your Internet of Things devices up to date with the latest security patches helps protect them against known vulnerabilities and exploits. Automate updates whenever possible to ensure timely installation, reducing the risk of attacks due to outdated software. Before deploying updates to production devices, test them in a controlled environment to identify and address potential issues. Monitor vulnerability disclosures and assets, assess their impact on your Internet of Things infrastructure, prioritizing updates based on risk. Lastly, establish a process for end-of-life devices and decommissioning to prevent the use of unsupported and vulnerable hardware. The fourth best practice for securing Internet of Things devices is to implement network segmentation. Separating Internet of Things devices from other critical systems and networks can limit the potential impact of a security breach and prevent attackers from easily moving laterally within your infrastructure. Use firewall access, or create dedicated VLANs or subnets for Internet of Things devices, further isolating them from other network resources. Use firewall access control lists to restrict inbound and outbound traffic between Internet of Things devices and other systems, minimizing unnecessary connections and potential attack vectors. Implement zero trust network principles, granting access to Internet of Things devices and their data based on a need-to-know basis and continuously verifying user and device identities. From this, you would want to regularly monitor and analyze network traffic to detect anomalies and potential threats. All right. The fifth best practice for securing Internet of Things devices is to establish incident response and recovery plans. Develop a comprehensive incident response plan that addresses Internet of Things security incidents, assuring your organization is prepared to effectively handle and mitigate potential threats. Next, you would want to clearly define the roles and responsibilities of the incident response team, enabling a coordinated response to security events. Establish procedures for detecting, analyzing, and containing security incidents, minimizing the potential impact on your Internet of Things infrastructure. After this, you'd want to create a recovery plan to restore affected systems and services, helping to quickly uh, return to normal operations after a security incident. Conduct regular training and exercises to test and refine the IRP, ensuring that your organization remains well prepared for evolving threats and challenges. Uh, the sixth best, the sixth best practice for securing Internet of Things devices is to continuously monitor and assess Internet of Things security. Actively monitor Internet of Things devices and suspicious activity and potential threats, enabling prompt detection and response to security incidents. Utilize security information and event management tools to centralize and analyze security data from Internet of Things devices, providing a holistic view of your security posture. Implement intrusion detection and prevention systems to identify and block threats targeting your Internet of Things infrastructure. Conduct regular vulnerability assessments and penetration tests to proactively identify and address potential weaknesses in your Internet of Things devices and networks. And lastly, you'd want to review and update Internet of Things security policies and practices as needed, ensuring that your organization's security posture remains strong and adaptive to the changes. The seventh best practice for securing Internet of Things devices is to ensure employee training and awareness. Provide regular Internet of Things security training for all employees, helping them understand their role and responsibilities in protecting your organization's Internet of Things infrastructure. Educate employees on Internet of Things security best practices and potential risks, enabling them to identify and report potential threats or vulnerabilities. Develop clear guidelines for the secure use and management of Internet of Things devices, ensuring that employees follow established processes and protocols. Encourage a culture of security awareness and responsibility within your organization, fostering a proactive approach to Internet of Things security. Finally, assess the effectiveness of your training programs and update them as needed to address new threats, technologies, and best practices. The eighth best practice for securing Internet of Things devices is to collaborate and share threat intelligence. Participate in industry-specific information sharing and analysis centers, which provide a forum for sharing threat intelligence and best practices among organizations facing similar risks. Share threat intelligence with relevant organizations and partners, contributing to the collective security knowledge within your industry. Collaborate with other organizations to identify emerging threats and best practices, enabling your organization to stay informed and prepared for evolving risks. Utilize shared threat intelligence to enhance your organization's security posture, incorporating new insights and strategies into your Internet of Things program. And lastly, promote a collaborative approach to cybersecurity within your industry, fostering a healthy environment. The ninth and final best practice, of which from the original seven practices, there were two additional practices that I had ended up adding later on. The ninth best practice for securing Internet of Things devices is to regularly review and update Internet of Things security policies. Establish and document Internet of Things security policies for your organization, outlining the requirements and expectations for protecting Internet of Things devices, data, and networks. Align your Internet of Things security policies with industry standards and regulations, ensuring compliance and consistency with best practices. Periodically review and update security policies to reflect changes in technology and threats, adapting to your organization's approach to Internet of Things security as needed. Communicate updates and changes to all relevant stakeholders, ensuring that employees, partners, and vendors are aware of and adhere to current policies. And lastly, ensure that Internet of Things policies are enforced and audited regularly, maintaining your accountability and effectiveness within your organization. All right, recap and conclusion. In conclusion, securing Internet of Things devices in the workforce requires a comprehensive approach that addresses a wide range of potential threats and vulnerabilities. Key best practices include implementing strong authentication and access control mechanisms, regularly updating and patching Internet of Things devices and systems, securing Internet of Things networks and communication channels, and establishing incident response and recovery plans. Additionally, organizations should continuously monitor and assess their Internet of Things security posture, provide employees training and promote security awareness, collaborate and share threat intelligence, and regularly review and update their Internet of Things security policies. By following these best practices, organizations can significantly reduce the risk of Internet of Things related cyber attacks. So here are the sources. This presentation was created using information from a variety of reputable sources. And if you'd like further information on Internet of Things security, including best practices, yeah, I'd encourage to explore the following sources that I used for this presentation. So thank you for listening, and stay safe out there.